Deathworld human girl casually breaks alien professor's arm without standing up. Professor Zyxthala had taught xenobiology at the Galactic Institute for over 3 centuries, but nothing had prepared him for the human girl slouched in the back row of his lecture hall. Terraborn humans were rare enough in the Outer Rim universities, but this one seemed particularly unsettling. The girl, who went by Casey according to his roster, sat with her feet propped up on the desk, chair tilted back at what should have been an impossible angle for most species. Her thick, muscular frame was draped in what appeared to be casual clothing, though Zyxthala knew from the diplomatic briefings that humans from Terra wore protective gear disguised as everyday attire. Even their casual fabrics could stop projectiles that would pierce standard body armor. "Now, class," Zyxthala continued, his forearms gesticulating elegantly as he discussed the atmospheric compositions of various worlds. "We must understand that most sentient species evolved on what we classify as garden worlds. Planets with stable climates, predictable weather patterns, and relatively few environmental hazards." Casey yawned, revealing teeth that Zyxthala knew were designed to tear through materials harder than most starship hulls. The professor's chromatophores flickered nervously, but he pressed on. "Humans, however," he said, turning to face the class while gesturing toward Casey, "represent a fascinating anomaly. They evolved on what we classify as a Class XII Deathworld, where atmospheric storms can level cities, where the native fauna includes predators that hunt in coordinated packs, and where even the plant life has evolved chemical defenses that would prove lethal to most." "Yo, Prof," Casey interrupted, not bothering to sit up properly. "You're making Terra sound way more dramatic than it is. It's not that bad." A ripple of nervous chittering went through the class. A Velthari student's tentacles curled protectively around her torso while a crystalline Zekri actually dimmed his natural luminescence in what appeared to be an attempt to hide. Zyxthala's pride prickled. In 3 centuries of teaching, no student had ever interrupted him so casually. "Miss Chen, perhaps you could enlighten us about your homeworld's more manageable aspects?" Casey shrugged, the motion causing her chair to creak ominously. "I mean, sure, we've got bears and wolves and stuff, but mostly they leave you alone if you leave them alone. And yeah, hurricanes suck, but you just stock up on supplies and wait them out. Same with earthquakes, tornadoes, that kind of thing." "And the atmospheric electrical phenomena?" Zyxthala asked, referring to what humans called lightning energy discharges that could vaporize most organic matter. "Lightning? Dude, that's just weather. You don't go out in a thunderstorm unless you have to." Casey waved her hand dismissively. "Basic common sense." Several students exchanged glances. What humans considered basic common sense was roughly equivalent to advanced survival protocols for most species. Emboldened by what he interpreted as typical human bravado, Zyxthala decided to make his point more forcefully. He strode toward Casey's desk, his natural authority compelling attention. "Miss Chin, I think you're understating." He reached out to tap the desk for emphasis, but Casey's reflexes kicked in. What happened next occurred in a fraction of a second, too fast for most of the class to follow. Casey's hand shot up, not aggressively, just a casual defensive motion she'd learned before she could walk. On Terra, everything from insects to weather patterns could kill you, so humans developed lightning-fast protective instincts. Her fingers wrapped gently around the professor's extended arm, just below the elbow joint. The problem was that Zyxthala's species had evolved on a low-gravity world with a peaceful ecosystem. His bones had roughly the tensile strength of dried pasta compared to human standards. Casey felt the arm bones snap like twigs under what she considered the gentlest possible grip. "Oh shit," she said, immediately releasing him as Zyxthala's pained shriek filled the lecture hall. "Sorry, Prof. I totally didn't mean to, it was just reflex, you know?" As the medical team rushed in and chaos erupted around them, Casey remained seated, looking genuinely apologetic but not particularly surprised. This sort of thing happened a lot when humans interacted with other species without thinking. From her perspective, she'd barely touched him. The incident would later become required reading in the interspecies relations curriculum filed under Why Deathworld Species Require Special Interaction Protocols. Casey, meanwhile, made a mental note to file another incident report with the human embassy. They were probably getting tired of her paperwork by now.